Legends Explain.
Hello and welcome back to Legends Explained. I'm Tony with the Aether Drop, and today we're talking about this guy. Yes, that is Superior Spider-Man. I am genuinely really excited about this. I'm not a huge Marvel fan, I've said it before in videos, but I really like the Superior Spider-Man run, and I'm super excited to tell you all about that. Today we're going to cover the lore of Superior Spider-Man so you can figure out who he is and why he's so interesting, why he's so interesting to me specific. I really am excited about this. I built a really cool commander deck for you, so I hope you enjoyed that as well. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more Spider-Man related things. I actually plan on covering quite a few more things and some other weird things. I got a Family Guy video coming out not too long from now, so if you're interested in Family Guy in current year, go ahead and subscribe for that as well. But let's go ahead and get into this Spider-Man lore and then the deck tech. As always, there'll be a time code in the description to skip the lore if you're not interested in that. And yeah, go web go. Dr. Otto Octavius, aka Dr. Octopus, dying of a terminal illness, manages to swap minds with Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker, in Amazing Spider-Man number 698. Peter dies in Otto's failing body, leaving Otto and Peter's youthful, healthy one. With Peter's memories and responsibilities flooding into him, Otto vows to not just be Spider-Man, but be a superior Spider-Man, one who fights smarter, harder, and without Peter's weaknesses. At first, Otto proved surprisingly effective, using advanced technology, surveillance, spider-bots, and a willingness to brutalize criminals. Crime in New York City actually drops. He also realizes that Peter Parker's on-again, off-again relationship with Mary Jane Watson is hindering his ability to be a proficient Spider-Man, so he ends things with her and gets in a relationship with Anna Maria McConey. He also goes back to school and gets Peter his doctorate. This, in effect, makes him not only a superior Spider-Man, but a superior Peter Parker. After a while, his brutality, executing massacre, crippling villains, and seizing control of the city through fear, sets him apart from Peter's more compassionate heroism, and other Avengers start to take notice and wonder if this is really the Peter Parker they knew. All the while, a ghostly remnant of Peter Parker lingers in Otto's mind, watching in horror and occasionally trying to steer him back toward true heroism. Also, while all this is happening, the Green Goblin has been slowly taking over the city in secret and building an army to take on Spider-Man. As things with the Green Goblin and Superior Spider-Man come to a head, Otto Octavius realizes he alone cannot defeat the Green Goblin, but Peter Parker probably can. So, in a final act of humility, he gives Peter his body back so that Peter can save the city. After this arc ends, Peter Parker gets his body back, but realizes he still must live with many of the things that Otto Octavius did while he was in control of his body. His public perception is irrevocably shifted, and Peter must live with the complicated fact that his greatest enemy might have actually just been a better Spider-Man than he was. Alright, so let's get started with our Commander, Superior Spider-Man. So this is a legendary creature, Spider-Human Hero, 4/4 for 2, a blue and a black, and he has the ability Mind Swap. You may have Superior Spider-Man enters a copy of any creature in a graveyard, except his name is Superior Spider-Man, and he's a 4/4 human hero in addition to his other types. So Superior Spider-Man has taken over that person's body kind of like he did to Peter Parker. So the idea for this deck is not to fill our own graveyard as much. Like, this is a mill deck, so we already just self-mill, but we do want to focus on milling our opponents more than ourselves. So to that effect, we have cards in this deck that mill our opponents a lot, so we can find cool things in their graveyards and take control of it instead of our own graveyards. You know, be the superior version of our opponent's plan. So to that end, we have a few categories, and the first one's going to be card draw. Only a couple cards in this category. We got Phyrexian Arena, because we need the raw card draw in this deck. And also we have our Game Changer, Rhystic Study, because this felt like the deck to do it. I don't put Rhystic Study in a lot of decks, so I thought this would be a fun one to put it in. Then we have our next category, we have our interaction category. So of course we have Counterspell to counter spells, we are in blue after all. Cyclonic Rift to be the best card in the deck. This is also a game changer, by the way. But yeah, Cyclonic Rift, best interaction piece in blue. Drown in the Lock, because it's on flavor, even if it's not the best counter spell. I still like it a lot. Glimpse the Unthinkable. This card's up to $3, which is crazy to me. I did not realize it had gotten so high. But yeah, just want to mill our opponents. It's interaction. Negate is negate, of course. Fractured Sanity, it really gets our game plan going, plus it mills our opponents. Psychic Strike is a bad counterspell, but it's very on flavor, and I like that. Damnation, because, you know, we gotta run real board wipes too, guys. Terror Tide, because we want to run not real board wipes. I think this is also good because it gets around indestructible and things like that, which is important. Yes, the card that everyone hates to see in mill decks, Traumatize. We can use this on ourselves in a couple ways to just win the game, so this is a relevant thing to remember. Avatar of Woe. It's not a great card, but because we're going to have so many cards in graveyards, this will just cost 2 most of the time. It has fear, and just be able to freely destroy a creature for free every turn is pretty good, I think. Alright, we got our Lab Man effects. We only got 2 of them, but I think it is important to run some Meta Lab Man effects if you're running a mill deck, especially a self-mill deck. I think it's kind of important. So we're running Thassa's Oracle, of course, and of course the actual Lab Man. I was going to run Jace, but I don't know. Planeswalkers aren't great in Commander unless you're specifically building around them, and these 2 are just fine. They're cheap. Alright, next we got our loot/discard category, because we want to loot and discard out of our own hand and be able to put things in the graveyard we want in the graveyard. So for that end, we got Bitter Triumph, because this acts as both interaction and we get to specifically discard a thing we want. One of my favorite cards, one of my pet cards. I love Legless Looter. I think the card is fantastic. It does a bad version of what Superior Spider-Man does, but it also is just a looter, and it flies, which is really good. Tainted Indulgence is another one of my pet cards. I love this in my Soul Flayer Pioneer deck. But yeah, being able to just, draw 2 cards for free most of the time is pretty good. But if we're early enough in the game, we will discard things, which is also fine. The Ancient One, things. We want to set up our graveyards with some amount of big things, so this will cause our opponents to discard quite a few cards occasionally, which is good. Otherwise, it's Jace's Archivist, because we do want to disrupt our opponent's plans, and our plan is putting things in the graveyard, so we're not really disrupting ourselves so much. Jace's Archivist is very good. Also, no reason for this card to be $6. Please, reprint again. Windfall, same exact reason just talked about for Jace's Archivist. We want to be able to get things out of our opponent's hands, disrupt their plans, so this is a really good card. Winter Night Stories is a decent looting card. Whispering Madness, again, Windfall, Jace's Archivist, we want to be doing this. Next, we got our biggest category here. This is our mill category. Starting off with Takanu, the Abandoned Mire. This is for milling ourselves and getting things back to our hands so we can set up our graveyard to set up for Superior Spider-Man if we need to do ourselves. Undercity Sewers. Entomb. I'm actually shocked this isn't a game changer. It feels like it should be a game changer, right? But yeah, putting exactly what we want in the graveyard so Superior Spider-Man can become that at a moment's notice is good. Citrus Supplier for the early game graveyard filling. Thought Scour, early game graveyard filling. Altar of Dementia, because sometimes we get close enough we can just mill our opponents out with this, and sometimes this sets ourselves up to just do what we want to be doing right early in the game. Cruel Somnophage and Can't Wake Up. This is early game mill and later game threat. Maddening Cacophony. This is one of the cards that can just win us the game with other cards. It's a part of a lot of 2 or 3 card combos, so good to know. Also, it's just generally doing what we want to be doing. Buried Alive is Entomb, but better for us, but it's a little slower, and that's okay. Setting up a graveyard at 3 cards versus 1 is a great trade-off. Forbidden Alchemy is just general mill. Psychic Corrosion. Man, a quick story. I had I opened a lot of M19 back in the day. I opened just a lot of this set, and I had so many of these, and they all definitely went to a bulk box. And I think about that sometimes. Anyway, we'll draw quite a few cards and be able to mill our opponents as we're doing that is pretty good. The new card, the Mind Skinner. Yeah, I love the Mind Skinner. I think this is a very fun card. It does exactly what we want to be doing. Early game at 3 mana is pretty great. Okay, here's a card that's not very good. I just have a signed copy of this card and I want to throw it in the deck. Pick any other given mill card and you can swap out for this, but I think it's cool. Dreamborn Muse. This card is very good. It can be very scary. Be careful how many cards you draw. You could mill yourself out when you don't want to, but it will also mill your opponents out very quickly. Of course, Factor Fiction is an absolute all-star in this deck. And the GOAT himself, the Consuming Aberration. This card is probably the card your opponents hate the most. Play this card and then cast a bunch of small spells together and watch your opponents just cry. Next category we have is Mind Swap Targets. These are all the cards we want Superior Spider-Man to become in our deck if we have to do our deck, but again, we're focusing on getting our opponent's deck, so remember that. Starting us off, we got Sewer Nemesis. This is like a impetus for your opponents. It's the worst. It's a curse. But you definitely want to do this on you definitely want to use this card on whoever the arch enemy is at the table and just get them out of the game as quickly as possible. Next, we have Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Your opponents are going to draw a lot of cards. It's Commander. Almost always your opponents are going to draw way too many cards, and we should punish them more for it. Sheoldred the Apocalypse is a great card to do that with. Then we got Mirko Vosk. It's just feeding back into our greater strategy of just milling out your opponents, and I think that is okay. He's also just a regular threat. 2/4 is not fantastic, but Superior Spider-Man automatically makes him a 4/4, so that's pretty good. Phoenix, God of Deception. Phoenix is half of a bunch of different combos. There's a whole list of them you can see on EDH Rec, but this card is absolutely great in any sort of mill deck, it will just mill out your opponent's one shot using the right combinations. And we'll run all of them in this deck. Here's a throwback card that I kind of forgot about. I remember this card was supposed to be a big problem back in the day, and it did nothing. The Haunt of Hightower. So we want to take cards out of our opponent's deck, but we can also take cards out of their hand using the Haunt of Hightower and gain back some life. So that's pretty good. Fleet Swallower is also part of a bunch of 2-card combos, so that's a thing to keep track of. Doxwell the Corrosive, I'm going to keep it a whole stack with you. I have this in here because it is a house of a boss monster, and this is just a fun thing to turn Superior Spider-Man to, but it might not be the best, but it will do work on your board, so don't worry about it. All right, so next we got our ramp category. We've got Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Dimir Signet, Felwar Stone, and of course, Talisman of Dominance. Just a regular Dimir ramp package. Then we got our reanimation category, starting of course with Reanimate. We're throwing a lot of things into graveyards. We want to be able to pull some of the things back other than just Superior Spider-Man. So we've got Reanimate in the deck, Animate Dead for the exact same reason. Necromancy, same thing. Victimize is fun. You can sack your Superior Spider-Man, put him back in the command zone to reset him, and then get other things back in the graveyard that you set up for earlier, which is pretty good. Body Double is a bad Superior Spider-Man, but it is a Superior Spider-Man. We want to be able to pull things out of graveyard, so we can do it with Body Double. And of course, no reanimation deck is complete without Shieldred the Whispering One. We're gonna put a lot of stuff in our graveyards. Your opponents don't want to put things in their graveyards. Let's help each other out. Let's just make that all happen, you know? And the final category, of course, we got is the utility category. This is for cards. I don't know exactly what else category to put them in. And we'll start that off with Lightning Greaves. It's very good. Protect your commander. Lazav is another version of Superior Spider-Man, except it can trigger way more often. And if you wanted to build this deck as a Universes Within deck, this will probably be your commander. Necrotic Ooze is just a fantastic utility card. If you're going to be milling out all of your opponent's cards, you might just run into one of their combos that will be able to be activated with Necrotic Ooze, which is pretty good. Wonder, we just want to get into the graveyard, give our creatures flying. It's just free evasion, honestly. Extract from Darkness is both mill and reanimation. This probably could have just gone in the reanimation category. I probably just throw it in the right spot. But yeah, it's good reanimation. And as always, I don't talk about lands unless they are relevant to the strategy, and well, we talk about the ones that are relevant to the strategy in the main part of the deck text. So this section's pretty barren, but I do want to point out that Bojuka Bog exists in here. Be careful when you do this, because you want your opponent's graveyards, so, you know, maybe don't play this card if you don't need to. And that's it for my Superior Spider-Man deck tech. Please let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm super excited to actually build this one in real life. I don't always build the decks that I make deck techs for in real life because I'm not made of all the money, but I'm actually going to build this one in real life because I had a Mimeoplasm deck, but I never really played it that much. I felt like it was too samey. I feel like Superior Spider-Man, because I'm cutting out the green, makes it a little more fluid, a little more... With this deck, I'm milling my opponents. I'm really focused on milling my opponents and using their stuff versus Mimeoplasm, which I was just dumping Ulamogs and other Eldrazi in the grave and just becoming them. So I'm very excited to actually build this in real life. So definitely, hopefully, have this for Magic Fest Atlanta, and come catch a game with me if I do. Oh, and as always, Moxfield link will be in the description. Let's wrap this up. And yeah, that'll about do it for the Superior Spider-Man. Now let me tell you, this is a super fun deck to play. I have done a few tests with it already. Remembering the focus is to use your opponent's graveyard and not so much yours. So yes, if your opponents aren't playing very creature heavy decks, this will be a less formidable deck, but you know, gauge your pods and have fun. I wanted to build this deck for a specific purpose, so yeah, it's a Mimeoplasm minus green. Yeah, if you like the deck, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to see more lore videos on Spider-Man, definitely hit that like and subscribe button because we'll be doing plenty more of those. I've actually really enjoyed rereading a bunch of Spider-Man comics and getting re-familiar with Spider-Man, so I didn't think I did. I didn't think I liked Marvel this much, but I'm actually having a really good time right now. Also in the comments below, let me know if there's any Universes Beyond characters you want to explain. New or old, there's plenty of characters I haven't explained from old Universes Beyond, so if you want to see some of those, also talk to me. But that's about it. I'm Tony with the Aether Drop. I hope you have a fantastic day. See you in MagicCon Atlanta. Make sure to eat your vegetables.